This is Lansing, Michigan. Like many Rust Belt cities, Lansing is striving to redefine itself, to recreate itself as an enticing place to live, work, and be social, especially for the young people who will be the next generation of Lansing residents, whether they live here for a few years as college students or they put down roots and grow careers and raise families here. For many of us, one of the key features of a successful city is having a thriving local music scene. More than any other art form, music provides a social experience around which young, creative people gather. Venues, artists, and fans create the local music scene and help it grow. A thriving local music scene reflects its cities and entices young people to put down roots and invest in the scene. Lansing has a scene, and it's growing. Unlike larger cities, which can count on critical masses of artists and fans, Lansing has created its scene from the ground up, do-it-yourself artists, venues, and fans. The next challenge is to help people see what's already here and explore the myth that there's no music scene in Lansing. The purpose of this film is to showcase some of the aspects of the Lansing music scene and the ways to get involved.
I think the Harry Brown House is a really great space because it allows people to get a feel for that sense of intimacy that they can find in the Lansing community. And it might be intimidating to go to like a big venue or something like that, but this house is like a very friendly, welcoming environment. So I've seen lots of people come in there, kind of get a taste for it, and just really want to like dive into it more. So it's really a nice transition between those two environments.
The reason we kind of started Harry Brown is actually kind of on accident. It just stumbled upon us. We had a ton of people who loved music, and a lot of friends of ours were in bands. And there was really no place, like not a big outlet where we could really do it at no cost and just kind of play by our like own rules.
I think some of my favorites in Lansing are definitely Small Parks, which is a small band that's just kind of getting started, but I think that they're really great. Wayne Zielinski. I always love going to see Joe Hurtler. He's a friend of mine, and I love checking out his set.
Yeah, I'm gonna do two more. This one's called Red Wings.
Very dry.
Yeah. Just keep laughing it off. 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 Just keep.
The best thing about Lansing's music scene is the fact that it's kind of small. It's not super hip like Detroit or Ann Arbor, Ypsi areas. I guess it's not the place where you think like cool music is coming from. So in that notion, I sort of feel like it's the underdogs. I like representing a small place that's not generally considered to be this like hipster music mecca. So sign me up for Lansing.
We have local bands that come through like Joe Hurtler, Elliott Street Lunatic, Lights and Caves, Phil Eastwood, Mike Main and the Branches. Quality bands based in mid-Michigan or western Michigan or eastern Michigan, but they all come and play here in mid-Michigan because we have this burgeoning scene.
You will leave me now. I know it's hard to believe in anything. You are the fire that should have gone out. But got bigger and stronger in the wind, and the sparks still burn.
People wanted to do things in Lansing because it's a local hotspot and it's a youth culture, and they know that they're going to get people to come out. And so it was a really kind of cool avenue that just happened on accident because there was a need and people wanted to play music and play shows.
I would have to say that even with Lansing being the capital, we are a relatively smaller city in population, and I've noticed that when I go to Detroit or to Grand Rapids, in general, for the smaller shows especially, there just isn't as great of a turnout or a community to go to these shows, or the fan bases, that there is in Lansing. And this really allows a great environment for local acts and to bring in touring acts in general. I think that this fan base and this strong, positive community that go out to these shows are really what make Lansing's music scene what it is.
Secretly, one of the things I hope for the most with Harriet Brown, I really hope that it continues past when we all kind of leave. We have a couple guys who are staying around next year, and they're going to probably keep it going. And I would love nothing more than to see it just take off for like a good long while and just have it passed down as this place where people can go.
I think that Middle of the Mitten is really cool because it really is focused on the music aspect of it. A lot of these other festivals are trying to tie in other things, which is great, but at the same time, I think that having a festival that's just dedicated to showcasing music that's around here is really, really great. Like, that is their first and foremost goal, is to say, Lansing is here, we have great music, and we're going to show it off. And I also like that it's not locked into one location. I think it's very fluid, and it allows for like a lot of different kinds of settings. Like, you can go on to the Record Lounge show on Thursday and catch like a really cool intimate acoustic show at Scene Metro Space, which is kind of a step up from that, but that's still in East Lansing. And then there's obviously the final night at the Loft, which has tons of really, really great bands, and they sound huge in that space and all that kind of stuff. So it's a nice variety, and I think that that's something that you can't really get with a lot of other festivals, which is really cool.
You should never start playing any sort of performance with a sweater on.
Inside the door at 6, the green ball click.
There's no better place to be. Our best shows are here.
Sometimes when we're touring in other cities and whatnot, like cities that have more of a conventional reputation for music, like Nashville, we'll have friends or other musicians that'll be like, why do you still live in Michigan? Why don't you move down to Nashville or Durham or wherever? We're just like, no.
Our best shows are here, I think, in my opinion. In Lansing or East Lansing in general, or Ann Arbor. Michigan shows are the best, but something special about Lansing because it's kind of where we came to age, came to form as whatever it is we are today. So.
Pour your sorrow or your memory.
But I choose to live in Lansing because I really, really like it here. After I graduated high school, I moved away and lived in a couple other states and stuff like that. And after a while, I just realized every place is rad, but you got to live somewhere. So I choose to live like where sort of my friends and family are nearby, and I have something, a little niche carved out for me, and it's here in Lansing.
Grizz is becoming one of the biggest DJs in the country right now, and got his start right here in the Lansing area. Grizz has headlined major music festivals like Lollapalooza, Electric Forest, and Wakarusta. He has also worked alongside artists like Big Gigantic and Grammatic. Grizz is just one example of a successful artist that started making moves right here in Lansing.
When did I start rapping? I had to be about 17, freshman year in college, right around the time I stopped playing football. Just started writing and just took off from there, kinda. I wrote my first verse at about age 14, but I had no plans to be a rapper at all by then, but I didn't start getting serious about it until about 17, 18. My first big show was Max Bar, pretty big. My first headline show, my first show ever. It's pretty good. So we oversold it, which is pretty good for a first show. I would describe it as like booty bass, kind of, you know, just I don't know, just booty bass. That's just what I call it. Like the Lansing music scene has made me want to go harder because, or the lack thereof of a music scene here, because it's like an open market. It's like a gold rush kind of. It's like nobody's really, you know, trying to do it like right. So it just made me want to go hard and just be the best I can be. What I would like to see change in Lansing to help further my career in general is just to see more artists, like more big name artists come here, because, you know, they all come to Detroit, they all come to Joe Louis, they all come to the Palace, but rarely do you hear Lil Wayne is performing at the Lansing Center or something like that. So like I would just like to see more artists come here so the music scene can like have something to rally around, you know. Anything that's a good time is inspirational.